almost no human life grows in isolation. From the earliest moments of existence, a human being is shaped by countless influences that slowly build the inner structure of a life. Care, love, attention, protection, emotional connection, giving, sacrifice, gentleness, and the quiet assurance that someone believes your life matters. These elements may seem small. Sometimes they are invisible. Sometimes they are never spoken about at all. But over time, they gather together and become the emotional architecture of a human being. If we want to understand life more clearly, we can imagine it like the construction of a house. A strong house never begins with decoration. It does not begin with the roof or the beautiful walls that people see from the outside. It begins with the foundation, with pillars driven deep into the ground, with beams that hold the weight of the structure, with a base strong enough to support everything that will stand above it. If the foundation is weak, it does not matter how beautiful the house looks. One day, under enough pressure, it may collapse. Human life follows the same principle. Family love, childhood experiences, and emotional environments are the invisible pillars that support a person. Throughout adulthood, they shape the way we trust. They shape how we respond to conflict. They shape how we see ourselves and how we treat others. But having a strong house does not mean everything belongs inside it. When people bring furniture or objects into their home, they choose carefully. They ask simple questions. Does this belong here? Does it improve the space? Does it serve a purpose? Does it fit the life that happens inside this house? No one fills a house with everything they encounter, because if they did, the house would slowly become crowded. Rooms would become heavy with unnecessary things, and the place that was meant for rest would become uncomfortable to live in. Human life works in the same way. The people who enter your life shape the emotional environment you live in. Some people enter and bring warmth. Their presence brings calm. Their words bring understanding. Their actions make difficult days easier to carry. They add strength to the structure of your life. But there are also people who enter quietly and slowly change the atmosphere. Instead of warmth, they bring tension. Instead of support, they bring pressure. Instead of understanding, they bring confusion and emotional exhaustion. Over time, the emotional house that once felt peaceful begins to feel heavy. Many people believe that the greatest fear in life is loneliness, but in reality, the heavier burden is living beside people who constantly make life harder. This is why choosing the people in your life is one of the most important decisions a human being can make. Not everyone who appears in your life belongs in your journey. Not everyone who enters your space should remain there forever. And sometimes, allowing certain people to leave is not cruelty, it is responsibility. It is the quiet act of protecting the structure of your life, because your inner home must remain a place where your mind can truly rest. When we begin to see life in this way, we start to understand a deeper truth. A relationship does not have value simply because it exists. It has value only when it improves the quality of the life it touches. In the early stages of life, many people try to keep every relationship because we are taught that losing someone means failure. But as life experience grows, another truth slowly appears. Some relationships do not strengthen life, they slowly make life heavier. Some people drain your energy every time a conversation begins. Some people create situations where you must constantly explain yourself. Some people make you feel as if every word must be carefully chosen, as though you are walking on fragile glass. Psychologists often describe this as emotional energy. Every human being has a limited amount of psychological energy. This energy must support work, responsibilities, family life, and the challenges that appear unexpectedly. When too much of that energy is consumed by stressful relationships, life slowly loses balance. The mind becomes tired, patience becomes shorter, peace becomes difficult to maintain. This is why the people around you shape far more than your social life. They shape your mental environment. Another foundation of healthy relationships is respect. Respect is not simply politeness, it is the invisible boundary that keeps a relationship emotionally safe. When respect disappears, a relationship slowly begins to distort. It may begin with small things, dismissing someone's feelings, turning their thoughts into something unimportant, speaking in ways that make another person feel small. At first, many people try to overlook these moments. They believe patience and forgiveness will repair the situation, but repeated disrespect slowly erodes emotional stability. A meaningful relationship is not measured by how long people have known each other. It is measured by how safe people feel in each other's presence. Another pillar that holds relationships together is sincerity. Some people are very skilled at presenting a version of themselves that others want to see. They know how to speak convincingly. They know how to appear supportive. They know how to create an image that seems trustworthy. But relationships built on performance rarely remain stable, because maintaining an image requires constant effort, and eventually, every performance ends. When the mask falls, the people closest to that person are often the ones most deeply affected. Sincerity, therefore, is not simply a beautiful quality. It is the root from which trust grows. Balance in relationships also depends on the exchange between giving and receiving. Healthy relationships are not competitions. They are not about who sacrifices more. They are about mutual value. Both people contribute. Both people support. If one person gives endlessly while receiving nothing in return, the relationship slowly becomes a burden. Human beings are capable of sacrifice, but endless sacrifice is not sustainable. Giving without balance eventually leads to exhaustion. Another essential protection in life is the ability to establish boundaries. Boundaries are not barriers designed to push people away. They are markers that protect your well-being. They communicate clearly what you accept and what you cannot allow. People who truly respect you will respect those boundaries, but people who constantly try to cross those lines often care little about the peace of your life. As people grow older, another lesson becomes clear. Words are easy. Actions require intention. Many people speak beautifully about loyalty, friendship, and support, but when difficult moments arrive, when help is truly needed, their presence disappears. Strong relationships are not built on promises. They are built on consistent actions. Over time, every human being changes. Growth alters the way we see life. Some people who were meaningful in one chapter of life may not belong in the chapters that follow, not because anyone failed, but because human beings evolve. Some people were meant to walk beside you for a period of the journey. They were never meant to travel the entire path. Accepting this truth is part of maturity. As people grow older, many begin to understand something simple but powerful. Peace is more valuable than chaos. Peace is more valuable than unnecessary drama. Peace does not mean a life without problems. It means a life without problems that never needed to exist. Choosing the people in your life is choosing the emotional atmosphere you will live inside. Life has limited space. Not everyone who enters is meant to stay. Choosing carefully is not closing yourself to the world. It is protecting the structure of your life. And often, when you finally allow certain people to leave your story, what returns to you is not emptiness. It is space. Space for calm. Space for healthier relationships. Space for clarity. Space to rediscover who you are without the noise of others. Sometimes, what feels like loss is actually restoration. Sometimes, letting someone go is the moment you finally return to yourself. You are listening to
สถานีหยุดพักคลายเหนื่อย